my Grandma Carol, and I'm April. Today we are going to be showing you a step-by-step process on how to make an art quilt. What are art quilts?
Art quilts are quilts you hang on the wall, and people can enjoy them like a piece of art. They're made like a quilt, only they're not put on a bed, they're put on the wall. And I really like making art quilts, the best of any quilt I make. I make a lot of different kinds of quilts, but they're my favorite.
Here are some examples of art quilts.
So that's one that April made. It's a little doggy. She made that quilt. And you had a lot of fun doing it, didn't you?
Yes.
And let's see, what else, what other quilts shall we show them? Shall we show them the tulip one?
Yes.
Okay, so a friend of mine gave me a bouquet of tulips and I really loved it. And so I decided to make this quilt. Let me hold it up so you can see it better. Make this quilt for the tulips that she brought in this beautiful vase that was green with a little blue on it. So I really had fun making that. This is the back. So you can see you make it like a quilt, except that I'm going to hang this on the wall. And then on the wall over here, we have a couple of more art quilts. That's an art quilt. And then there's an abstract one. And then we have, I like to interpret artists. My favorite artist is Chagall. And so I made a couple of art quilts of his pictures.
Here's one based on the painting Fiddler on the Roof by Marc Chagall.
Mm-hmm. And then there's one over there.
Here's another one with his brother playing the mandolin.
Mm-hmm. Great. Okay, so those are a couple of art quilts that I made. I made a lot of them. You can make animals too, like a lion or a giraffe. I made those.
Or even a squirrel.
Yeah, a squirrel. We have a resident squirrel in our yard, so that one is good to make too.
And he's my favorite. It's my favorite art quilt.
Okay, so let's go. April, do you think we should go and figure out, you know, how do you make an art quilt?
Yes.
Okay.
Now we are going to be showing you the step-by-step process of how to make an art quilt.
Okay. So let's just move these out of the way. And these are the materials you need. So, April, if you come over here, I'll show them like this. Okay, the materials you need are paper to draw your picture on. You need a really good pair of scissors, and I like Karen K. Buckley scissors. They're serrated edge, and they're really sharp. They don't lose their sharpness. And I have a little pair in this pair. I have Fix-On pen, because you can iron this off to mark the fabric. You need this Easy Steam that you can buy to stick on the fabric. So it looks like this when you put it on the fabric. It makes like a peeling that you can peel off and stick on other fabric like that. See, it's sticky. So you have to have that. And you need material, of course, fabric. So you need a background fabric, and you need other fabrics. Okay? So, and you need an iron, a good iron, to iron on the fabrics you're going to attach to the background. So a friend of mine really loves Sunflowers by Van Gogh. And so she wanted me to make her a sunflower quilt. So first, the steps are, we're going to talk about the steps now. Steps are, first you have to draw the picture. Now, I drew this, and it's just a rough drawing.
Very rough drawing.
But you don't have to make it like this. You can make it very abstract, or you can trace something from a picture that you have. Then, after you do that, you draw it with pen, black pen, so
on
you can
a piece
see
of
it.
paper.
And then you put your background fabric on top of it so that you can see it, and then you trace your picture onto the fabric. And this is traced with the Fix-On pen because I want to, when I get through, I want to iron the lines so that nobody can see them. Okay, after we do that, then we start selecting the fabric that we want to do. And the fabric that I selected, and that's a little tricky because you have to look at the picture. We don't have the Van Gogh picture right here, but he had a lot of yellows in his, and he had a tiny little bit of blue in one. So I got this blue because it's similar to the one in his picture. And then he had a lot of yellows, of course. So I selected these yellows because I really think they look like the color. Now, it's not going to be exact, of course. You don't have to worry about that. It's your interpretation of the picture. So this is going to be my interpretation. A lot of yellow. And there's a little green, this green color in it. I don't know if I'm going to use these. I just have them in case I want to use them. There's a little bit of orange,
You can use any kind of fabric pieces that you want. They could even be scrapped from another something that you did not finish.
Yes, that's right. That's a good idea. Thanks, April, because I do use scraps. Here's a piece of scrap material. Here's another one, some brown. This seemed to match the vase, the part of the vase that he had. And then there's greens in his picture. A lot of different color of greens, and these kind of matched his greens. It's not a perfect match because, of course, it's Van Gogh. I'm not Van Gogh, but I like to do an interpretation. And then I found this yellow in my scraps that has some background to it.
The fabrics that you can use don't have to be just solid fabrics. They can have any kind of design or pattern that you want to have them, because remember, this is an art quilt. And you just have to use your imagination and what you feel like using it, and it's your own interpretation.
That's right. Very good. Good point, honey. So now, okay, so now you have your fabrics ready. And so now you need to figure out where you're going to start and start to fuse the materials onto this stuff that we have here, this Easy Steam it's called. There's also another product called Steam Fuse or I've forgotten what it's called, but it's
Easy Steam you can buy at Joann's.
Yeah, well, you can get it online.
Or online.
Yeah, you can get it online. So this one it's just a fusible web, so you just want to get that, and they really do stick on to the fabric. And so you have pieces of them, and then you select a piece, and then you put your fabric on it. So let me show you how to do that. I have to heat up the iron. Okay, so I'm going to put the fabric over here. Oh, this was some fabric that I pulled out, and then I decided I didn't think it would go in this quilt. So I have it on the side just in case I think maybe it might go. You have to kind of experiment with the fabric and see what will go.
Did you guys notice that one of the fabrics my grandma had picked out matches the fabric that's right here on this cupcake looking thing? It's the same exact type of fabric. Also the fabric that my grandma used to make my backpack in 4th grade.
Okay. I didn't realize that it was on that. You're right. It's exactly that. It's a very good observation. Okay, so now we're going to fuse some fabric. So, of course, I'm going to use a lot of yellow.
Yes. Make sure your iron is heated up.
Yeah, you have to get it heated up hot. And then you just cut pieces. Where are my scissors now? Underneath everything, of course. So I'm going to cut some pieces of fabric to stick on here. And you have to cut it kind of the size, pieces that are manageable and the size of it. And it doesn't matter how you cut it. It can be a sloppy cut because you're just going to stick it on here. And you're going to put several pieces of fabric on here, different ones. Okay, so you do that. I want to get some yellow. This yellow. This is called marigold. Pretty color, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I like that color. My friend loves yellow, so I got to put a lot of yellow in it. And I'm going to cut this and then we're going to stick it on. And let's see now. So I'm going to just put this here to measure it because I got to see how much I can put on here at once.
Always measure your fabric and your easy steam.
It's not measuring with a tape measure, it's just kind of holding it up.
Well, yeah, eyeballing it.
Right, exactly. And then we're going to, where's that piece I just cut? Here it is. So I'm going to cut some of this off. So you make a bunch of these because you have to have a lot of fabric. And so you're going to make a lot of them. And then when you get them made, then you start to cut out all of the pieces to fit your quilt. It's really fun. It's very creative. Did you like making your dog one?
Yeah, it was very fun. Especially to sketch it out first. Because it was not going to be a quilt first. It was just like a drawing that I wanted to like paint. But then I made it into a quilt.
Okay, that's right. So I'm going to get a piece of, something to cover this because if I don't, I thought it had a backing on it, but this one doesn't have a backing. Okay, so I've got it. Okay, so turn it off for a minute.